George used to think that staying healthy in his 60s was all about cutting sugar, avoiding late-night snacks, and going for his morning walks. But what he didn't realize was that some of the everyday foods he trusted for decades were quietly working against one of the most vulnerable parts of his body, his prostate. And he's not alone. Across the US, millions of men over 50 are unknowingly feeding their prostate exactly what makes it weaker, more inflamed, and more vulnerable to future problems. Here's a surprising truth. Some of the worst foods for your prostate are probably sitting in your kitchen right now. And one of them is something most men eat almost every single morning, believing it's harmless, even healthy. What if I told you that just by removing or replacing a few of these harmless foods, you could dramatically lower inflammation, support better urinary flow, and even reduce your risk of serious prostate issues down the line?
As men age, subtle changes begin to happen, changes that most don't notice until they start to affect everyday life. Around the age of 50, the prostate, a small walnut-sized gland tucked just below the bladder, begins to enlarge. At first, this enlargement is harmless, but as the gland slowly presses against the urethra, the narrow tube that carries urine out of the body, symptoms can creep in. A weaker stream, the urge to go more often at night, or that frustrating feeling of never fully emptying the bladder. For many men, these changes are simply accepted as a normal part of aging. But what few realize is that the way we eat can either accelerate this process or help keep the prostate healthy and calm for years to come. The prostate is highly sensitive to inflammation, hormonal shifts, and blood flow, all of which are directly influenced by the foods we eat daily. Diets high in certain fats, sugars, and additives can quietly increase inflammation inside the gland. Over time, this chronic inflammation can make symptoms worse and may even raise the risk of more serious conditions. On the flip side, a nutrient-rich, anti-inflammatory diet can support hormone balance, reduce swelling, and help the prostate function smoothly, even well into your 70s and beyond. This is why understanding which foods hurt and which foods heal is more than just nutrition advice. It's one of the most powerful, natural ways to protect your prostate as you age. In the next section, we'll break down 8 of the most surprisingly harmful foods for your prostate. Some might already be on your plate every single day without you even knowing it.
When it comes to prostate health, what you don't eat can be just as important as what you do. Some foods quietly irritate, inflame, or stress the prostate gland day after day, often without any immediate signs. Let's take a closer look at 8 of the most surprisingly harmful foods you may be eating right now. 1. Alcohol. A beer here and there might seem harmless, but alcohol is a diuretic. It makes you urinate more often. For an aging prostate, this means more nighttime bathroom trips, weaker flow, and that all too familiar urgency. Over time, heavy or regular drinking can irritate the bladder and worsen lower urinary tract symptoms, especially in men over 50. Research also suggests chronic alcohol use can fuel inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. If you drink, keep it moderate and hydrate well with water to reduce irritation. 2. Spicy foods. Surprising bladder triggers. That fiery kick might taste amazing, but your bladder might not agree. While spicy foods don't directly damage the prostate, they can irritate the bladder lining, worsening urgency, frequency, or leakage, issues that often overlap with prostate enlargement. Some research also shows compounds like capsaicin may have anti-cancer benefits, but for men with urinary symptoms, cutting back on spice can bring noticeable relief. If you love spice, try milder versions, or balance it with cooling ingredients like cucumber or yogurt. 3. Saturated fats, fuel for inflammation. Diets high in saturated fats, found in fatty meats, butter, and full-fat dairy, are linked to higher levels of inflammation in the body. For the prostate, chronic inflammation can make swelling worse,
and may even increase the risk of developing prostate cancer, according to multiple studies. Saturated fats can also affect hormone balance, influencing prostate growth over time. Swap butter for olive oil and choose leaner cuts of meat or fish to support a calmer, healthier prostate environment. 4. Excess salt, nighttime disruptor. Too much salt doesn't just raise blood pressure, it can worsen urinary frequency and make nighttime bathroom visits more common. Excess sodium can irritate the bladder and lead to water retention, which can stress the urinary system. Use herbs, lemon juice, or pepper to flavor your food instead of relying on the salt shaker. 5. Cheese and butter, sneaky sources of sodium and fat. Cheese and butter might seem innocent, but they pack a double punch: high saturated fat and high sodium. Research from the Mayo Clinic has linked heavy dairy consumption with higher prostate cancer rates in Western countries. Meanwhile, in many Asian countries where calcium comes mainly from greens and legumes, prostate cancer rates are significantly lower. You don't need to cut out dairy completely. Just switch to smaller portions or try plant-based alternatives a few times a week. 6. Red meat and processed meats, hidden carcinogens. Steak night might be a tradition, but for the prostate, frequent red and processed meat consumption has been linked to a higher risk of prostate cancer. When red meat is cooked at high temperatures, grilling, frying, or broiling, it forms harmful compounds like acrylamide and heterocyclic amines, both associated with increased cancer risk. Processed meats like sausages and hot dogs contain nitrates and preservatives that further aggravate inflammation. Enjoy red meat occasionally, not daily, and try baking or steaming instead of charring on the grill. Fish and chicken are friendlier protein options for your prostate. 7. Ultra-processed foods, inflammation bombs. Pre-cooked meals, sugary breakfast cereals, cookies, sodas, and fast food may save time, but they come at a hidden cost. Ultra-processed foods are packed with trans fats, refined sugars, and artificial additives that fuel chronic inflammation and oxidative stress throughout the body. Large studies, including Canada's Proteus study, found that men who ate more processed foods had significantly higher rates of prostate cancer. Focus on whole, fresh foods. If the ingredient list looks like a chemistry lab, your prostate probably won't like it. 8. Store-bought sauces and dressings, the hidden culprits. Many bottled sauces, salad dressings, and marinades are loaded with hidden sugars, sodium, and unhealthy fats. Even a small drizzle can deliver a hefty dose of inflammatory ingredients that your prostate doesn't need. Make your own simple dressings at home with olive oil, vinegar, lemon juice, and herbs. It's healthier, cheaper, and prostate-friendly. It's not about perfection, it's about awareness. By making small, consistent changes, you can reduce inflammation, support healthy urinary function, and lower your risk of prostate problems in the years ahead.
As we've seen, the foods we eat every day can quietly shape the future of our prostate health. For many men, it's not sudden disease that causes trouble. It's years of small habits that slowly add up. But here's the good news. The same small habits can also turn things around. By cutting back on the most harmful foods, alcohol, excess spice, saturated fats, salt, heavy dairy, red and processed meats, ultra-processed snacks, and sugary sauces, you can reduce inflammation, ease urinary symptoms, and support your prostate's long-term health. And you don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Small, consistent swaps make the biggest difference over time. Start with one meal. Swap out one processed or heavy dish per day for something fresh and simple, like grilled fish with vegetables, or a salad with homemade dressing. Hydrate smartly. Cut down on alcohol and sugary drinks. Stick with water and herbal teas during the day to keep your urinary system clear and supported. Season wisely. Trade the salt shaker and bottled sauces for herbs, lemon juice, olive oil, and natural spices. Plan ahead.
Keep healthy staples in your kitchen so you're not tempted by fast food or processed snacks when you're tired. Remember, prostate health isn't about restriction. It's about choosing foods that work for you, not against you. It's about building a lifestyle that supports your body, your energy, and your well-being for decades to come. Your prostate doesn't have to dictate your life. With a few smart choices each day, you can take the lead, starting with what's on your plate. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who could benefit. Together, we can make smart health the norm, not the exception.